Imagine waking up one day to a world that feels off. Not just a little strange, but fundamentally altered. The sky is the wrong color. The buildings are familiar yet somehow alien. You're in your own home, but it's not your home, not anymore. What if everything you knew, every memory, every comfort, was suddenly a carefully constructed lie? What if Earth itself became just a vacation home, a temporary dwelling, while the real one simply vanished? To unravel this unsettling concept, we need to delve into a series of increasingly bizarre occurrences reported by individuals across the globe. These aren't your typical glitch in the matrix stories or Mandela effects. No, these are something far more insidious, far more profound. People describe sudden, jarring shifts, moments where the very fabric of their reality seems to ripple and reset. It might start subtly. A favorite coffee shop suddenly has a different name, a well-known landmark appears to have moved slightly, or a familiar street has an extra unaccounted-for tree. The initial reaction is always self-doubt. Did I misremember? Am I losing my mind? But these feelings are quickly overshadowed by a gnawing sense of creeping dread, a chilling certainty that something fundamental has changed. Consider the case of Sarah, a librarian from Portland. She vividly recalled the old ornate clock tower in her city center, a landmark she'd seen countless times. One morning she drove past it and it was different, more modern, sleeker, with a digital display instead of hands. She pulled over, heart pounding, convinced she'd taken a wrong turn or suffered some kind of episode. But no, everything else was exactly as it should be. Her usual route, the familiar shops, the people. Yet the clock tower, a constant in her life, had been irrevocably altered. She asked friends, colleagues, even city officials. Everyone told her the clock tower had always looked this way, always. But Sarah knew better. She knew with chilling conviction that she was remembering a version of Portland that no longer existed. These individual anomalies, initially dismissed as quirky personal experiences, slowly began to coalesce into a disturbing pattern. Forums dedicated to unexplained phenomena started seeing a surge in posts describing these Earth shifts. People from vastly different backgrounds, living in entirely separate geographies, reported similar sensations. The feeling of temporal displacement, as if a few minutes or hours had been skipped, or a strange, almost imperceptible hum in the air preceding these changes. What's more, the changes were often benign at first, almost as if designed to test the waters. A slightly different shade of paint on a public building. A new, oddly placed park bench. Small, easily dismissible alterations that, when accumulated, painted a picture of a world constantly tweaking itself. The psychological toll on these individuals was immense. They wrestled with their sanity, their memories, and their very sense of place in the world. They were experiencing what can only be described as a slow-motion unraveling of their perceived reality, like an editor making subtle cuts in a film, hoping no one would notice. But the changes began to escalate. One particularly chilling account came from a deep-sea diver in the Pacific, who swore that the coral formations he'd meticulously documented for years had, overnight, shifted their entire geometry, acquiring new, almost artificial-looking patterns. Another reported that the moon, visible every night from his window, appeared to have a subtly different orbit, rising and setting a few degrees off its expected path. These weren't just glitches, they were fundamental deviations. The very laws of physics, or at least our perception of them, seemed to be in flux. The term the forgotten Earth began to circulate, not as a metaphor but as a chilling theory. What if, people speculated, our current Earth was a copy, a simulation, or perhaps a temporary placeholder? What if our original Earth had been moved, or worse, harvested? Then came the discovery that shifted these theories from fringe speculation to terrifying, plausible nightmares. A group of independent astronomers, using highly specialized, privately funded equipment, detected anomalous energy signatures emanating from what appeared to be vast cloaked structures in deep space. These structures were not stars, nor planets, nor any known astronomical phenomenon. They were colossal artificial constructs, and their energy output suggested they were not merely observing Earth, but actively interacting with it. Further decoding of these energy patterns revealed something even more horrifying: distinct, coherent transmissions. Not in a language, but in a kind of raw, data-rich stream that, when painstakingly translated, painted a picture of cosmic-scale observation and manipulation. The transmissions referred to Earth not as a living, evolving planet, but as Sector 7 Gamma Exhibit 4b. Our home, our unique cradle of life, was being described as a display, a curated ecosystem. The transmissions detailed operational logs, maintenance schedules, and even visitor feedback. Humanity, it seemed, was merely part of an elaborate, long-running exhibit for an unknown, vastly superior civilization. The Earth shifts weren't random glitches, they were maintenance procedures. The changing landmarks, the altered natural features, the subtle recalibrations of physics, these were the unseen custodians tidying up their exhibit, perhaps adjusting for a new display period or repairing perceived inconsistencies. The most terrifying reveal within these deciphered logs was the mention of memory overlays and temporal reframing. This explained why no one else remembered the old clock tower or the original coral reef. Our memories weren't failing us. They were being actively rewritten, overlaid with the new reality to maintain the illusion of continuity for the exhibit's occupants. Us. We weren't just living on a vacation home. We were living within a holographic diorama, our lives a grand, intricate show for beings we couldn't even begin to comprehend. What they discovered next changed everything. One particularly chilling log entry detailed a primary exhibit transfer event that had occurred approximately 5 millennia ago. Our original Earth, the transmission suggested, along with its nascent human civilization, had been moved. Not destroyed, but relocated, perhaps to a different sector for different viewers, or simply deemed too valuable an artifact to be left in its original chaotic state. What we inhabit now is a meticulously crafted replica, a stunningly accurate recreation designed to continue the observation of humanity's development without jeopardizing the original specimen. This copy was less a planet and more a fantastically complex self-sustaining terrarium, a biological and sociological simulation running on an incomprehensible scale. Every war, every invention, every human drama, all playing out for an audience beyond our wildest imagination. We are the unwitting actors in a cosmic reality show, guests in a beautifully rendered vacation home, while the true Earth, our ancestral home, lives on, perhaps under different lights, for different eyes, in some unknowable corner of the universe. To this day, the implications of these findings are almost too profound to grasp. Are our lives real or merely simulated experiences within this grand exhibit? Does free will even exist if our environment, our very memories, can be subtly altered at a whim? The line between reality and illusion has not just blurred, it has been erased entirely. We live on a planet that feels like home, yet we are merely visitors. The question isn't just where is our original Earth, but who are we truly if our existence is a perpetual performance? The answers remain elusive, hidden behind the veils of cosmic manipulation. We are left to ponder what secrets are still veiled within the depths of space, and just how many layers of this cosmic deception have yet to be peeled back. If you want to explore more chilling cosmic truths and unsettling realities, the next video delves into the infamous phantom star system, a place that appears and disappears from our telescopes, hinting at even greater mysteries beyond our comprehension.